How to Sleep Max Low Cortisol Edition. So what exactly is sleep maxing? We're just maximizing our sleep depth, our sleep quality, and our recovery. What are the benefits? We have increased productivity because better sleep increases our focus, memory, and motivation. We get increased muscle growth from increased muscle protein synthesis and better recovery between workouts. Increased testosterone because that's literally when it's produced from luteinizing hormone during your sleep. Improved mood with more emotional stability, less irritability, and less anxiety. Better health and appearance for all my looks maxers, better skin quality, no dark circles under your eyes, and improved facial appearance and posture. So number one, circadian rhythm. This is pretty easy. So just 2 to 3 hours before bed, use night shift or tint on all of your devices. So if you're using Windows, you can just press the Windows key, look up night light, and turn this on and maximize the strength. And for your phone, you want to head into your color filter settings. And you have a few options. You have grayscale, all these other weird ones. And you have color tint at the really bottom. You want to click on that. Choose your color with the hue. So I just make it red. And you maximize the intensity. And there you go. Now, why do we do this? We do this because we want to minimize the amount of blue light that hits our eyes before bed. Because blue light suppresses melatonin, which, as you know, is the primary sleep hormone. And on that note, you also want to go outside within 1 hour of waking up. Quick little 10-minute walk. Because how it works is that your cortisol and your melatonin are very closely related. So when your eyes first see blue light and you start moving and get sunlight right after waking up, you get this cortisol spike, which isn't meant to actually spike your cortisol. It's meant to wake you up, right? And then throughout the day, gradually lowers, and melatonin gradually picks up. And then melatonin drops in the morning and cortisol goes up. So you need to activate this cortisol spike. It doesn't happen automatically. If you wake up but stay in a dark room and don't move at all, your melatonin is still going to be high. But when you go outside, that's when it starts. And it's a 16-hour window between the cortisol spike and the melatonin spike. So the earlier you have your cortisol spike, the earlier your melatonin goes up, which means that you basically have a better sleep schedule. And it also helps you to go to bed and wake up at the same time each night, which I strongly recommend doing. So your environment, for me, this was a huge one that was stopping me from getting the fullest deep sleep that I could get. So for most people, 17 to 20 degrees Celsius is optimal temperature. You want to feel like it's decently cold, and you also want to make sure that it's dark, pitch dark is ideal, and quiet. So what you want to avoid eating big meals too close to your bedtime. I would recommend having at least a 2-hour window. And obviously you want to avoid caffeine and stimulants past noon because they're going to keep you up. And you want to avoid going on your phone in bed, because like we said, suppresses your melatonin. But even besides that, if you go color filters, make it red, okay, it's not as bad, but your brain is still active. So you're feeding it dopamine when it should be kind of getting bored and tired, right? But instead you're feeding it stimulation and it keeps you awake. Some things that you can do instead are reading. Yeah, I know in this day and age, it's so hard. But trust me, if you find a good book that you like and make it a habit to read before bed, I promise you won't look back. Okay, I'm not going to promise that, but I strongly recommend that. You also want to avoid undersleeping, right? So 7 to 9 hours is optimal. And honestly, if you improve the quality of your sleep with the methods in this video, you can actually get away with less sleep. And you also want to avoid not exercising. Me personally, if I don't at least, hit the gym or do martial arts or do some sort of exercise throughout the day, it makes it way harder to fall asleep. You got to get that energy out throughout the day. And now my favorite part, supplements. So compared to the other stuff, supplements won't really make that big of a difference, but I just kind of love them. So we're going to start off magnesium glycinate, super good for recovery, super good for your sleep quality. Just if you're getting it, make sure that you check the back and it doesn't say supplement blend or magnesium blend, and you see magnesium oxide mixed into there, because magnesium oxide is a less bioavailable, less effective one that also digests bad and doesn't give you nearly the same benefits as glycinate. Because glycine, that's what magnesium glycinate is. It's magnesium bind to glycine. This is super good for sleep. Glycine is another W supplement. And I recommend avoiding melatonin because, as Andrew Huberman says, there's evidence to show that it actually suppresses or stunts your puberty, which we do not want. And aside from that, it is also a hormone. It's the only hormone that you can buy legally, and you can build a tolerance to it, and it can mess up your natural cycle. So I just wouldn't recommend it. I think it's way better to just optimize your natural melatonin than to take it exogenously. And now my favorite, Crash. Oh my God. Crash by Vices and Vibes. This thing, I love it. It's basically a blend of, I think, like 8 or like 10 different supplements. And it's like, you know, glycine, L-theanine, a lot of other extracts and supplements that are all put into this, you know, super tasty drink mix. This video is not sponsored, by the way, but genuinely, like, I love this thing. And it's all natural supplements. So the thing about sleep aids, if you look for like, you know, these like kind of pre-workout style sleep aids, a lot of them have Phenaba inside of it, which I do not recommend. I'm not going to talk about it now because that's just going to take forever, but be very, very careful when you buy sleep aids, because if you buy a sleep aid like this, which has Phenaba inside of it, Phenaba, it's like you build a physical dependence super quickly. You literally go through withdrawals, which are like horrible. It's pretty much, it's comparable to Xanax, but it's legal and it's used in a lot of sleep aids. So be very careful. Check all your ingredients. And lastly, if you want to go traditional, which I like doing sometimes, you can make yourself some tea, you know, like chamomile, lemon balm, passion flower. Those are all good for sleep. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this section. I do not recommend using alcohol or weed or other drugs because, you know, first of all, you don't want to get addicted. Second of all, they mess up your sleep depth. So even if they put you to sleep faster, a lot of them, they decrease your REM sleep. They just like mess up your sleep cycle. You don't get deep sleep. You don't get restorative sleep. Just not worth it. But that is it for this video. Hope you found it useful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.